Yeah. We had family members, relatives, everybody was saying, "You're crazy. What are you doing?" I mean, the day that we quit our jobs, I cried. I really didn't know what we were doing, but I did it because I thought, well, I know we don't want to go back. We got to move forward. What does forward look like? We don't know, but we're going to try.
Welcome to the Suburban Warrior Podcast, the podcast that inspires, educates, and empowers women navigating the chaos of midlife, perimenopause, and menopause. I am your host, Chrissy Pfeiffer, a holistic health coach and fierce advocate for women's wellness. With a background in nursing, the pharmaceutical industry, and integrative nutrition, I blend medical expertise with a holistic approach to help women heal naturally, integrate science-backed therapies, and take control of their health. After enduring my own 10-year battle with perimenopause symptoms, I've made it my mission to ensure that no woman has to suffer in silence. Join me as I share expert insights, real-life stories, and actionable strategies to help women reclaim their vitality, prioritize their well-being, and redefine midlife wellness with grit and grace. What's up, warriors? Welcome back to another episode of the Suburban Warrior Podcast. I'm your host, Chrissy Pfeiffer, and I'm back this week with two amazing guests to share their story with us. Before we jump into that, first, I want to remind you all to visit suburbanwarriorpodcast.com and get your free download of the From Pause to Power roadmap. This roadmap is really a roadmap from A to Z to take you through your journey from perimenopause to menopause. It is questions to ask your physician, all the things that are happening in your body that you're not sure, how to deal with. And it's really all the answers that I wish I had 10 years ago when I was going through perimenopause. So please check that out. It's a free download for you. And while you're there, be sure to sign up from the Pause Like a Warrior newsletter, because that will be dropped in your inbox every single week. And it's basically just a summary of the podcast and all of the highlights right into your inbox every week. And I would love for you guys to make sure you get that. So check out all of those things at suburbanwarriorpodcast.com. Now, this week, I have two very special guests on. I'm really excited. We are switching things up a little bit this week because we have a brand on that I found this summer, and I was really, really excited to find this brand. So for those of you that follow me on Instagram, probably saw me talking about it, but the brand is called Mom Water. And for those that don't know what Mom Water is, it is vodka and flavored water in a can, and it is delicious. And why, Mom Water on Suburban Warrior, the health and wellness podcast for women in midlife? Well, number one, part of health and wellness is having fun. And I don't know about you, but I certainly like to enjoy a few drinks sometimes when I'm having fun. But for me, especially on this perimenopausal journey in my life, starting in my late 30s, I had to completely go off wine. Those of you that know me know I really don't drink wine at all, because in my late 30s, I loved it, but every time I drank it, I would have what I now realize is probably like a histamine reaction. But I would, just get so red. I'd have hot flashes. I'd break out in hives. It wasn't about being hungover. I just couldn't even enjoy the time when I was drinking wine. So I had to completely go off wine. And vodka has always been my friend. Vodka and tequila, ironically, are both drinks that I can tolerate and are my friend, while I'm drinking them. So I'm always looking for really good drinks to enjoy. I also don't love carbonation. So this past summer, I stumbled upon this amazing can of Mom Water. And so before we get further into this amazing product, let me introduce to you its founders. So Jill is originally from Ferdinand, Indiana, where she grew up on a farm, and she is a proud mother of three. She was an occupational therapist in a local nursing home before starting her career in the alcohol beverage business with Mom Water, where she currently serves as Chief Mom Officer. Her husband, Bryce, is originally from Huntington, Indiana, where he grew up in a family of teachers. He spent almost his entire career in sales and marketing, with his most recent position prior to Mom Water with Heart to Heart Hospice. Bryce is now Chief Dad Officer of Mom Water. So welcome to the podcast, Jill and Bryce.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, I like I said, I'm really excited to be here because not only did I fall in love with your product this past summer, but once I fell in love with the product, I had to do a little investigation and really learn more about how this product started. And I think that was probably because of the marketing. You have such really amazing marketing around the cans, the colors, the look and feel. And I love how all of the different flavors have a mom's name from like the 90s, the 80s and 90s. So you really just fell into my demographic for sure. And then I read your story on your website about how Mom Water got started. And I was like, wow, this is really empowering and awesome. So I really thank you for being on the podcast and sharing the story with us. So welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
So Jill, why don't you start out by sort of telling us a little bit more about yourself and sharing this journey that you had to really not only starting the business of Mom Water, but really the creation of how Mom Water came about.
So way back in the day when I first created this, we were at an all-inclusive resort, and similar to your need to find something that didn't affect you, for me it was sugar and the carbonation. I had drank so many sugary, fruity drinks because that's what happens at those resorts. You take whatever, oh, that looks pretty, that looks fun.
Yeah.
By the second or third day, I told him, I said, I can't do it anymore. I felt miserable. So I had seen the little jar of water sitting on the bar by the hotel. And I said, what is that? And they said, well, at that time, it was passion fruit water. I said, I'm just going to fill up my cup with that. Of course, it was hydrating. I felt great. Well, then I didn't want to go back to the sugary stuff. So I took that up to the bartender and said, can I just get a little bit of vodka in here? I don't like the taste of alcohol, so I don't want to taste it. Drank that the rest of the week. And it was like, when you eliminate the sugar, I had the rest of my week was enjoyable. So we come back to the States. It's like, I'm going to keep going with that. So every time we would walk into a restaurant or a bar, I would ask for a vodka water. No offense to all the bartenders out there, but most of the time I can taste the vodka in what you're getting there. So I would order a vodka water and an extra water and make my own at the table. Like I said, I wish I could get this in a can ready to go. So we fast forward, that was approaching COVID year.
It was 2018 was when we were at that resort.
Yeah.
So that, which is also when, if you remember back to 2018, that's when seltzers really gained their popularity, like White Claw, Truly, and they were all coming out. And I always joke with Jill because her and all of her mom friends would be around our pool and they were trying every one of the seltzers.
I feel like every weekend was a different trial and we all, but then it was everything that's in the seltzers. And, we never really had one that we could latch onto. And so.
Yeah, I know that exact feeling because I feel like I have tried that as well. And I feel like the first couple sips, you're like, ooh, this is good. But then by like the third or fourth sip, you're like, wait, there's like a weird aftertaste. Something's just not sitting right. And even the days like on the beach when I like would just sort of force them down or try to dilute them over ice, the next day, my stomach would be in shambles from sort of what all the other stuff that was in those seltzers. And I don't think I'm alone in that. I think that happened to a lot of people as well.
Yeah.
So as you're going through this journey, you come home, you're now asking for vodka and water, but were you infusing it with fruit also? Like at the bar, like asking for like, lemon, lime, orange, that sort of thing?
Yes, I had tried different combinations, trying to figure out where I landed with the different fruits. And same thing here at home. We would experiment with different containers of water and put different kinds of fruit in it and see which one I liked better. And
she'd really get excited when we go into a bar and they would actually have a flavored vodka there, like a blood orange absolute.
Oh, yes.
But then she'd like, I'll just take that one with water, and it made it a little easier, but it would end up more of a cocktail to her point versus a ready to drink that's light. They wanted to, a bartender feels like they got to put a little more alcohol in there and, to give you your bang for your buck. And she would be like, oh, it's a little strong.
Yeah. Right. Absolutely. So, so as you're doing this, are you experimenting with this drink with friends as well? Like similar how you did with the White Claws and stuff around the pool? Like, were you asking your friends, like, what do you think of this? What do you think of the taste?
So I was homemaking them and putting them in water bottles. And I would, I would fill the cooler and not thinking our kids at that time snagged a water because as a family, we don't drink sodas. We only drink water. So that's what was in the cooler. And so they took a little sip and went, Mom, this water tastes spoiled. I'm like, oh God, that's my water. That's not yours. He's like, you've got to mark these. So I started writing Mom on all my water bottles. I said, if it has Mom on it, that's mine, not yours. That was their key. Well, then all my friends started going, why are you writing Mom on your water bottles? And then I would say, well, it's because it's my special water. And then they all started figuring it out. So then it was the running joke. Is that your mom water? I would carry it with me everywhere we went. And that was my beverage pre-made. I was like, well, I can't carry a bottle of vodka with me everywhere I go, but I can carry these water bottles. And so then they're, well, let me try it. Let me try it.
Right.
And then what flavor do you have today? And it just kind of became the running thing for.
They all would say something at the day like they felt better.
Yeah.
And that was at the end of the day, that's what it was to your point. After 2 or 3 sips, you start to, get something sometimes from a seltzer. Now after like 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 in a day in the sunlight where you're drinking full cans, then you're like dehydrated and you've got a headache and you're bloated. And, they would all started like migrating to Jill's mom water.
Yeah. I can understand why, because having drank it often this past summer, it is light and refreshing, and it doesn't have that aftertaste, and it doesn't feel heavy.
Yeah.
And it tastes light and refreshing. Okay. So then I love how mom water, literally just the name of it just came so organically, because that's literally what you were calling it. And I feel like even when my kids were little, I'd be like, oh no, that's mommy's water, or that's mommy's drink. Like it was, but you were just mom water. Okay. So then how did this transition from your packing waters in your cooler for yourself to sparking maybe an actual business idea?
So during my 19th year of being an OT was kind of when this was all spiraling, and a friend called it mom water one night and he said, ooh, that's actually got a ring to it. I think that has potential. And I was like, well, I was feeling burnt in the corporate healthcare. I was like, maybe this could be something. Maybe we should pursue this. Maybe we should make this in a can ready to go. Fast forward.
And my original reaction was, no way.
He told me I'm crazy multiple times.
I was like,
wait a second. Was it Bryce? Was it your idea? And then when she was like, it was her. It was Jill's. Okay.
It was me poking the bear, going, "We should do this. We should do this." And he said, "I don't know, what." You're
my
crazy.
logic brain was like, I assume we had to have a distillery. I'm like, we don't have multi-millions of dollars. We're not inherent risk takers. Like, you wouldn't say that we are, the quintessential people that we're destined to say we're going to create a business, which is why I think a lot of people can relate to us. We're very normal, if you will. And when she mentioned this, it just seemed far-fetched, all the points she had were perfect. I'm like, you could call mom water. I can't find it. It's addressing a gap in the industry. My friends all like it. We all feel great. Like all these things. And I'm like, I agree 100%. It just didn't feel realistic to think that we could start an alcohol company, like one of the most regulated industries there is.
And so then if you look at our backgrounds, having a healthcare degree, I knew nil about business management. I was like, hey, what can we do with this?
Business management. I was not a great college student. I'm very creative.
He may have been Van Wilder, but he survived.
I'm very right. I'm not the most organized person in the world, but that's what...
You at least had a clue.
Yeah, that's why we do pretty well. It's like we joke that she's the inside of the can. I'm a little more the outside. Like I can come up with ideas and all of these things a lot easier. Organization and finance and those types of things I have to work a lot harder at. So, to say that.
Wow. It seems like you guys have it figured out. And I'm sure in the beginning, all of the who, what, when, where, how, those were all very overwhelming questions. But, here you are, both owners of an alcohol company. So, tell us a little bit about that journey and sort of what that was like for you.
So during my 20th year of my hours went up, his hours went down because he was a necessity during COVID.
It was during COVID.
Yeah.
Right.
So I came home every day from the whole cap and gown healthcare world and go, did you figure anything out? Any chance I can quit today? And I feel like I did that for 6 months. Did you figure anything else out?
Can I quit yet?
I did.
It took us it was really once we decided to say, okay, well, let's do a little research at least. Let's put a little thought, time, and energy into it. And we met we had kind of a family friend that coincidentally also ended up being the person that helped us with the original design of the logo and cans and stuff. And he knew a lot of people down in Louisville, Kentucky, and he kind of led us on to let's become one of our best partners, a company in Louisville that is kind of like our flavor lab. And they help people develop beverages and bring proof of concept to life. And once we kind of got them, that was the first kind of domino to fall was, okay, we at least know somebody now that can help with that part. And then that led into, we need a distributor. Like we actually started that project, put our money into it, had no idea we even needed distribution by these companies and states. Like we didn't know. When I say we were ignorant, like ignorance was bliss for the both of us going through this process. Because if we would have known what it took to get to this point, we would have said that's impossible. So once we got a distributor, then we had to find a place to find it. And think back to January of 2020 to March of 2020. That's when we were doing this.
Oh my gosh.
Every distillery that we needed, like we couldn't run with the really big ones that required millions of dollars worth of a minimum order quantity. We had to find little places. Well, if you think back to during that summer, all of the little places did what? They shut down and they were making hand sanitizer. They weren't making alcohol. And so it made it like exponentially harder for us to eventually find partners to bring this, to life, I guess.
We ended up finding a small mom and pop run place, and he agreed to bring us on, and we were with him for several months until he couldn't keep up anymore, and then we had to switch.
Through an ice storm.
Yeah, we drove through an ice storm to get there.
First production run, we'll never forget it because we were working the line because they were new to doing it.
And we ended up working the line for the first,
Wow. And when was that? Like around what time was that? Is that still in 2020?
Been about, I'll say February of 2021 because we sold our first case in March of 21.
Oh, wow. That's so exciting.
And a half from start to we're going to sell a case.
Yeah, that's amazing. So, and I guess, what is that like when you're doing distribution? I guess, do you have to work to get it into each state? Because I felt like for us, I think it was in New Jersey before it was we vacation in New Jersey, and I grew up in New Jersey, but I live in Pennsylvania. But I feel like we were able to get it in Jersey before we could get it in PA, and like literally friends and younger adult kids would be like, oh, get us the mom water while you're in Jersey, because like we couldn't get it in PA. It is now in PA. But so do you have to work to get it into each state? Is it, regulated in that way?
Very much so. Each state. Now, when we released, we had two different distributors in the beginning. We released with a distributor A in Indiana, distributor B in Kentucky. And our Kentucky distributor, it went really well. They're more national. They're RNDC. They're like the second largest distributor in the nation. They're in like 30-something states, right? So they actually saw the success there and were like, we'd like to try to get together a corporate contract. And so we kind of ended up getting a contract with them that basically in those states, it removed the barrier for us to have to go and try to find a distributor. We could open with them. Now, the downside of that is, some distributors in some states are good, some are bad. You just don't know. And we were really young and new into this industry. So we were like, wait, if we can go national, like, let's do that.
We were doing cartwheels.
Yeah, we were like, hey, let's do it now.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
If we did it over again, it might not be the same way, like, because we know a lot more now, and we would maybe go state by state. But it definitely helped us. Our biggest thing was this product in this category, what we're calling spirit water, didn't exist. So we were like, we're creating a category of alcohol. We want to be the first ones to market, right? Because the first one, White Claw was the first seltzer to market. High Noon, the first vodka seltzer, like they reap the benefits. And so we were trying to get the name out there.
Yeah. So I want to just touch back real quick on, what you were talking about regarding ignorance is bliss, because I think that a lot of people listening out there might think to themselves, they might have a great idea, or they might have a hobby or a passion or something that they're really into, and then might feel hesitant to, act upon it or to look into it further because they don't know the industry, or they think that, they're not entrepreneur or all these things. But I have run into so many entrepreneurs that when looking back can say, I had no idea what I was doing. And thank God, because if I did, I probably would not have continued to pursue, your passion or continue to pursue an opportunity or an idea or something, that they saw, a hole in the market or a passion with. And here you are, you're sort of saying the same thing, right? Like sometimes it's really great to not know what you're getting into, because then you don't have all the fear and you're able to move forward without hesitance sometimes, without knowing that you might not be doing the right thing, but it's the right thing for you.
Yeah. We had family members, relatives, everybody was saying, "You're crazy. What are you doing?" I mean, the day that we quit our jobs, I cried. I really didn't know what we were doing, but I did it because I thought, well, I know we don't want to go back. We got to move forward. What does forward look like? We don't know, but we're going to try.
Yeah, it was kind of funny because a lot of the friends and family were like, you guys are kind of crazy. Like, you're nuts. We had decent jobs. We'd worked in those careers forever and established this. We were secure. We got kids. Like, we're not like in a position to be able to like risk too much. And now at the same time, like all this, if the family is not working with us, they are like our biggest fans. Like mom and dad, my mom and dad are constantly giving me stories. Like, mom's like, "Man, somebody today, they said something about mom water." And I was like, "Well, that's my kids." And she's like, proud, like mom of that. And it's hilarious because like they were the ones going, "What are you guys doing?" So it is kind of neat to see that kind of come full circle. But I feel like our goals were so small in the beginning that we were also setting expectations pretty accurately. Like, hey, if we can get this on local shelves, we'll be pretty happy about that. So
one step at a time.
I didn't do it back then to launch a national beverage. I did it so that I could have vodka in a can ready to go when I wanted it.
It was kind of selfish.
Not knowing. When we
wanted
launched and sold 40,000 cases, I was like, wait, what? I mean, other people out there wanted the same thing. Oh,
I love it.
Yeah.
So Jill, let's talk about that a little bit. What has the feedback been from women or from customers? What has the feedback been? What do you hear from your customers?
We've heard several different things of thank you for satisfying a need that wasn't there. Didn't realize the diabetics didn't have an answer. Gastric type surgeries didn't have an answer to drinking. We've heard love the names, like everybody, loves the social aspect of it, loves the no carbonation. We actually got a person back in the day that said, "I wish you would have carbonated it." And I was like, "Are you kidding? There's already 100 of those. Like, why would I do that? I didn't want carbonation. That's why we went. We wanted to be different."
Exactly.
It is funny because with us, we have a super loyal fan base. Like the fan base is amazing. You alluded to it. A lot of young adults, like that of age college kids. And then it's like this really cool moment between like the girls at college and their mom being able to kind of like in a weird way bond over this fun thing.
Yeah.
But, we'll have a lot of like 1-star reviews. We'll have like 5-star or 1. There's not in the middle because people there's no precedent for what we have done. So when you first open it up, if you don't know what it is, you're expecting sugar,
bubbles,
flavor,
big flavor,
bubbles.
Yes.
We're expecting everything we don't have. We're like a dry wine in a world of sweet wine, right?
Right. Totally.
Yeah.
We had a customer, we had a customer return a pack because she thought it was flat. She said, "You gave me a flat one. I needed my money back." And the store owner was like, "What?"
Yeah, it's water.
To be flat.
Yeah.
They don't read, or they just assume it's another seltzer.
Exactly. So let's talk about for a minute why it might be good for the diabetics or why it's good for people that don't like carbonation. Tell us what's in it.
Water, vodka, and citric acid. That is it.
And then natural fruit flavors. Natural fruit flavors.
Yeah.
So like we have 4 ingredients and we are, to my knowledge, and because I put it out there to the whole industry, like this is an industry that hides a lot. And when you have a can, you have, to your point, you really don't know what's in it. They'll tell you how many carbs are in it, how many sugars. They don't give you ingredients. We list our ingredients on every product that we put out. You will know what's in our product. And so like that, to us, that was a big deal because we're transparent. We're very transparent and feel like, listen, if we're embarrassed to put it on our label, maybe it shouldn't be in the can.
Yeah. And it doesn't have is it zero net carbs? I'm trying to remember
Yeah,
off the top.
zero.
It's zero.
Zero
So it's
everything.
zero carbs. Yeah. And it's like what, like 90 calories or something like that, right?
The
Correct.
calories
Am
are
I
from
right?
the vodka. They have to
Yeah.
be there.
Yep.
But yeah,
Right.
zero artificial anything.
Zero artificial anything. And I think that's why I enjoy drinking it so much this summer because, again, I am a vodka drinker, but I felt like, the no sugar, the slight infused taste of the water. It is light. It didn't just feel clean. It was clean, and so it was easier to tolerate, which makes it easier to tolerate the next day. And for most of women my age and a lot of my friends and I were always talking about, listen, there's this balance between trying to relax and have fun and enjoy yourself, but also waking up the next day and feeling okay because life goes on and we're not in college anymore and can't lay in our beds watching movies all day. So yeah, those are the days, but not anymore. So I do really think that this is a really nice brand for women in midlife to try because I think that just it's clean and it's light, and you don't have to overindulge, and it's a really delicious, beautiful drink. And like I said, I felt it was very fun, drinking it with friends because it created a whole social experience, which is kind of what you were alluding to, Bryce, when you're talking about like the moms, and college kids drinking together. But it was like that on the beach with friends. It was like, oh wait, what flavor? Oh, you're having a Karen? Okay, which is, oh, I have Linda. My favorite's Linda. So branding them in that way just creates a whole experience, which made it very fun as well.
Yeah, we actually had very early on, we didn't know, like that was just one of like my little ideas in my head that I was like, if we're doing this, and it should be about moms. It shouldn't be about the drink. It should be about the flavor. It should be about moms and mom culture and everything else. And I'm like, well, if it's about that, then our flavors should be maybe a name. And we didn't know if we could do like Coca-Cola did the name campaign a long time ago, but like in the alcohol world, you can't change things on your label. You have to submit it every time, right? So we're like, okay, so our flavors are going to be a name. We honestly didn't put a lot of thought into what names to choose. The Linda one was like from a Listen Linda video on YouTube. Like we weren't thinking this was going to be a big deal. So as we've evolved, it's become like our mom's names and we try to have fun with it. But I distinctly remember in my head going, this could come off as really cheesy. I don't want it to be that way. I want it to be about the moms and the product is secondary. And luckily it did. It's one of the coolest things with ours is we had a distributor early on that said, hey, you guys are the first brand we've ever seen that developed a brand within a brand. Yeah. And we're like, that's an interesting way of thinking about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think even, I'm an ex-marketer myself, and so I do appreciate brand elements a lot. And even some of the little details, like I love how the wrapper on the can feels like it's like a matte kind of feeling or whatever it is. And the other thing I think that you guys did, which is awesome, is the gold tops versus silver. Like I love that when it's in my cooler or in my refrigerator, I can always tell which ones are the mom water without even having to pick them up and look at the labels. And I just love gold. So like, I thought that was a really cool branding element that you guys did that, I don't know if everyone notices, but I did. And I appreciate it.
We appreciate you noticing because those
were a challenge, actually.
We couldn't afford them, honestly, in the beginning.
Yeah.
The originals all have silver because they were so costly to switch to gold. But from a branding perspective, we all loved the gold. So we were like, let's just go gold. And
we want to deliver, like, I think a more of a premium, elegant, whatever word you want to use, like drinking experience, to your point.
Yeah.
Like that is mom culture in general, I think. And so we want you to like, you're already paying a lot of money for the drinks and we want you to feel like you got something that you paid for. And we don't wow people with our flavor and our taste. Like that's not what makes mom water. What makes mom water on the product side is it makes you feel better. Like that's legit. At the end of the day, you drink these versus anything else on the market and you're like, I just feel better. I'm not bloated. I've hydrated myself all day because I'm drinking cans of water. And so that's the gold and the color scheme and the matte. We wanted to be different and we wanted to be something that are like, we want to be premium. We want it to look and feel that way. So I'm glad you noticed.
Yeah, and it does. And it does. And there is something to be said for, I think, moms and girls and women in general wanting to have that whole experience. It's where it's not just a can that you're cracking open and drinking, it's a whole experience in itself. And I do think you've created that experience. And so, okay, so tell us now a little bit, because I know it's also evolved into dad water.
Yes.
So what happened there?
Honestly, we didn't really want to do it originally. We had a lot of fans that were asking us, like, oh, where's dad water? It kind of became a going joke, and I would always answer it called beer or bourbon or something. And so then we took it a little more seriously, because we try to listen to our audience, our fans, and what they want. And so we took it a little more serious and went, okay, well, if we were going to do something, what would it be? And we love to innovate. We love to do things different and unique, and we're quirky. And so that's where Dad Water kind of started. We used a local company for the branding here, and it legitimately started with me going, I think tequila would be a neat one, because I like tequila. A lot of people are tequila curious. Yeah, it's growing, and the younger audience really likes tequila. Our generation, it's hit and miss. You're either like, nope, can't do it, or or you're open to it. So that's just kind of how it started. We figured out, okay, maybe it's tequila. And then we just went down that route and went, well, moms and dads are very different characters within the household. So we want our products to kind of in a funny way represent that, so the dads don't take themselves too seriously. Like our shirts say legends in their own minds. Like that's what we are. We think we're way cooler than we really are.
Yeah, it's cute.
We just have a little fun with it. And Mom Water's Mom Water's 95% of all our sales. Dad Water's it's new. It's more niche because, alcoholic water, very niche right now. It's still very new in its infancy. Tequila, alcoholic water is even more of that. So, but we have a lot of really loyal fans on that side too. But the Mom Water reach is obviously a lot bigger for us.
And 3 out of the 4 dads are our dads. Yep. So we named those after our dads.
Gary, Tom, and Rodney.
Oh, I love that. So, so where do you see, what's the dream of the brand? Where do you see the brand going, evolving to? What's next?
We've called it become a nationwide household brand. Whatever that, when you say Mom Water, you automatically, like, oh, I've got that. Like you said, I've got that in my fridge. People know it's, High Noon claimed the seltzer world.
Yeah.
Mom Water, we're trying to claim the
the water world
category. Yeah. And I think that's like for us, we're very employee centric. We've developed a business around culture first and foremost above anything else, above growth. We want to grow, but we're okay with growing, small amounts year by year. We're not looking to get bought out necessarily. We're not like a lot of people enter this space saying, I want to, pump my numbers up and I want to do this and that. Somebody comes knocking and I'm out. And for us, we have a lot of friends and family that are involved. It's a family owned and operated business. We don't have private equity outside, anything like that. We've been able to fund it with community bank loans and mortgages on our house and all those things. So, for us, it's very special, and we don't have to be somewhere on an island or whatever. Like, this is what we enjoy, and we really enjoy doing it. So I think the future of the business, we're constantly innovating. We just want people to know that, like, whatever they see from us, like, we have good innovation coming next year, some really big things I think people are going to be really pumped about. We just want, like, every time we do something, we're going to be transparent. People are going to know we didn't cut corners, and we're going to proudly put our ingredients on every can of whatever it is that we might do in the future. And we think the Mom Water portfolio can broaden as the years go on, because we started to develop but to your point, the aesthetic, the fit, the feel, the lifestyle of the brand. That can translate across to even different products. And that's kind of where we're, exploring for next year potentially. So.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah. We were talking before we started recording about the business side of it, and that, it is a family owned business for you. And you guys have, like, not only some of your children, but you have brothers and sisters and all, involved in the business. And that's what really makes it a really special family business, that you are having fun and enjoying the ride, right?
Most days.
Yes. It does get stressful the bigger you get, right? We thought it would be easier, but no, it is. Like my sister, I started out as the CEO. I gave it to her because she is vastly more qualified and better than I am.
She's way better than you were at it.
I know.
I
and
love
so,
that.
my younger sister is our CEO. My brother is a regional vice president. Her brother is our COO. Our partner, John, is a longtime friend of ours. His son, Nayland, is another regional vice president. Our son, Trajan, just came on board and he's working on the dab water side. So and we have friends. And at this point, everybody in the beginning said, don't do business with friends and family. And we were like, yeah, but those are the people that we love and trust. And right. If we can't do business with them, then shame on us, I guess. Just got to put your ego aside and not make it about money all the time, right? And it's worked great to the point to where that culture of friends and family has been extended to every one of our employees and even their family. When we have a Christmas party, spouses are coming. We want to get to know everyone, and we want everyone to know who their significant other is spending all their time with at work, right?
Yes.
So for us, it's very important, but it established a really, really cool culture within Mom Water.
I love that. That's amazing. So Jill, do you have any advice for any women out there that might be listening that might, be thinking, should I, shouldn't I, is this idea silly? Should I look into it? What advice would you have for, us moms in midlife or women in midlife that might be thinking about a career change?
I would say no idea is silly. And if you look at looking back, I didn't realize how miserable I was.
Yeah.
Sorry, until I'm not anymore. So there's that part. And not that I didn't love my job, but I was burnt. So it was good to make a change.
She was there for
20 years?
20 years, which in today's day and age, that's about 60 years, right?
I
was always at a business a lot less.
Well, no, you know what, Jill, I really appreciate the emotion and can very much empathize with it, because I think that a lot of women feel very similar to how you feel, and that emotion being so surface and so ready to come up, because I think that's happening. I know I was very much in a place, but when I left the corporate world, for me, it was 15 years ago, I felt exactly that way and felt physically ill and emotionally and everything. And I didn't realize it until after I left, just how really sick I was and how burnout I was and how much I was not happy doing what I was doing. And I think there's a lot of other women that feel that way, but there's just this feeling of I can't leave. It's what I do. It's what I know. And it's really not until you can take yourself out of it that you can recognize maybe how just draining and pushed down you feel all the time. So I appreciate that emotion, and I think a lot of other women feel that same way, and can empathize with you very much, but also feel that way, but are seeing the other side of it from you now and thinking, wait, there might be light at the end of the tunnel for me. I just, sometimes just that courage to just take that step, just take the leap of faith, right?
Yeah. And from the mom side of things, I never realized how many times I said no.
Yeah.
Because I worked all day. But now I can say yes. I'm here.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Well, you have control now.
And I would,
right?
I would add to that. I think you're never going to have all the answers. And I think that was the biggest thing was when we would want to do something, it'd feel like you'd have to research and have all the answers and everything's laid out perfectly before you ever take a leap. I can honestly say that did not happen with us. We had no answers. Legitimately, by all intents and purposes, what we started should never have worked. It honestly. So when we say if we can do it, anybody could, that's not an exaggeration at all, because we learned so much. And even if something didn't work, I would have been so much closer to knowing how to do things if we ever came up with something else that we wanted to do. Right. So it's that how many times, what was it? Was it Edison, with the light bulb, where he said he failed 1,000 times before he made it. And he was like, I just successfully figured out 1,000 ways to not make a light bulb or something like that.
Exactly.
But it really is we learned so much that, we'll have young entrepreneurs now that will come to us wanting to start their own alcohol brand. And I'll catch myself going, I don't want to shoot your dreams down. I'll be realistic with you. But at the same time, I'll be like, even though you're going to be competition, I don't care. I'll help you because that's what happened to us. We had a lot of help in the industry, and we just kind of figured it out as we went. And it worked for us, and I think it could work for a lot of other people.
Yeah. And surrounding yourself with resources. In the beginning, I got a little bit of, I don't want to call it hate online, but I would see some commentary. Why isn't the female the CEO of a female-driven company? I knew I didn't have those traits.
Right.
I couldn't. So he started out with it. He realized he couldn't do it. His sister is the rightful.
You took it as far as you could. Yeah. And to your point, Jill, there's always going to be naysayers. There's always going to be people questioning what you do, why you do it.
Yeah.
But it's about really believing in yourself and knowing that you're making the right decisions.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're not making the right decisions, but you keep going.
Yep.
Right. And I think that was your point, Bryce. Like, there's nothing ever that's just going to work all the time. But if you believe in something and you want to try it, then you just keep going.
I would say the majority of our knowledge at this point is from making wrong decisions. Like that, honestly, like we did so many things wrong for the last 4 years, but every single time, like now we know, and we are hardened and better for that.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally get that.
And then, and it all makes it worth it when we, we are quirky, but when we go, we did a bar activation at a college bar, because a lot of college bars, like the college age kids, like love our product, which is just kind of funny. But we decided we're going to be old school and quirky. So we had a bar activation where we had, we got a little mom water, dad water mailbox that we have wrapped, and it sits on a table, and we have postcards. And the postcards, we say to the students, we're like, you come over and we want you to fill out a postcard to your parents, and we will postmark it and we will send it for you. So we'll pay to send it. And we just think it's like a neat thing, because again, it goes back to like, what parent wouldn't want to get a postcard, a handwritten note from they probably have never gotten one, right?
Yeah, never. No,
exactly. Didn't know how to do it.
Right.
It was
they're like, wait, what do you mean postmark it? They probably didn't even know what the heck that was.
No. We're like, we'll just take care of it. Put it in the mailbox. We'll handle it for you.
Just write your mom in it. But like, again, genius marketing on your part, because I mean, how fun is that? Like, your kid's in a bar, they're writing a little note to you, and then you're going to get it in the mail, and it's going to be like mom water, dad water. I mean,
and it's branded with the bar, so the bar loves it. And so, and then as the night went on, the postcards got increasingly hilarious, as you can imagine. So it's like comedy. It's, we were hoping that all of those end up on the fridge with a magnet. Because it feels like it's another moment for kids and their parents to like have some common ground, have a little fun. And that's kind of what our product, I think, has tried to become, is a bit of a bridge there where you have something in common, and you can both we have just as many college students that are like, my mom loves that stuff, and that's how they know about it, as we have moms that go, my daughter's the one that brought it home from school, and now I'm hooked. So it's like this really cool, bonding thing, I guess, over like a social, like you said.
Yeah. Absolutely. Oh, I love that. And so these like bar activations, this is like, are you doing like a college tour? Are you going around to a lot of the different schools
We've gone to several. We have found out, doing our online sale, or, the sales track, the most popular bars. We've gone to a few of those. We were a sponsor of IU Athletics because we live here. So that particular one was at an Indiana University bar. We are getting ready to go to Tuscaloosa.
We just released in the state of Alabama this year, and it is I think we're the number 2 or 3 drink in the state right now. So it's just like wildfire. So we're heading to Tuscaloosa, which should be really interesting that I'm almost 50, but now we're going back to college bars in our late 40s. Staying out late and
makes you feel really old.
Oh, trust me, I know. So if you guys ever head to Penn State, you'll have to let me know. I have 2 daughters at Penn State, and I was just there this past weekend for the whiteout. Yeah. So I know what as a 50-year-old woman, I know exactly what you mean. By going back to college and feeling old. But
yes,
it certainly keeps you feeling young.
It does. That's getting asked to shotgun mom waters and dad waters with college guys. I'm like, well, I can't turn it down. So it's like, it is funny because I'm like, it is exhausting. But no, it's fun. And to us, that was one of the more surprising and neat things that we found out over the last couple of years, was that our brand really was resonating with college age, drinking college age kids. We're like, really? I mean, it's called mom water. Our target audience was kind of us.
Yes.
But they care about what they're putting in their body. They want to be out. They're social. We're a big social media brand. That's how a lot of them found us. So it's just really cool to see that like they at least are caring a little bit more about what they're putting in their body versus us when we were in college. We didn't.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, like I said, if you ever head to Penn State, you'll have to let me know. I'll meet you up there.
Hey, we're ready. Now that we're in Pennsylvania, that was our most recent launch. So we're finally, the government controls when alcohol comes into that state, and they're, it's a control state. So we're finally in Pennsylvania. And so hopefully by this time next year, we'll have enough to be able to go up there and maybe some bars and stuff that pick us.
Oh, good. Well, add it to the college tour list. It's a fun one.
For sure.
That's for sure. Well, guys, I just want to thank you so much for joining me on the podcast today. This was really a fun conversation because, like I said, I really do love the brand. I love your story. You guys are amazing. And, I love the product that you are putting out there. But even more so, I love that, you are building this family-owned business with values and having fun along the way. I can see when you guys talk about it, how much it means to you. And, I love that you really were able to kind of take your life back and build this amazing brand. And I have no doubt that it is going to just keep blowing up like it has been. And I'm really happy for you guys for that.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. We always appreciate the opportunity to come on anytime.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, guys, we will make sure that we link Mom Water in the show notes so you can find out all about Mom Water and learn even more about their story online. And I want to thank you guys for listening to Suburban Warrior Podcast. Again, be sure to visit suburbanwarriorpodcast.com to sign up for the newsletter and the free roadmap. And be sure to leave us a comment because we would love to hear what you think of this episode. We'll be back next week with another amazing Suburban Warrior here to share her story with you. Till then, talk to you next week.